Hi, and welcome.
And we're starting off blurry.
Yes!
Hello, camera.
Drunk camera is back.
Our old friend, the drunk camera. Where have you been?
Well, drunk.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing today?
I want revenge.
You want revenge?
Yes.
On who?
On CSS.
On CSS?
Yes.
I thought you liked CSS.
I do.
Well,
But okay, I want revenge on my crappy spaghetti notes, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
That's the real truth, because they were not pretty. Have you seen them?
I have seen them.
Yeah. Have you actually read them?
No, I have not.
No, because you would probably feel a little sick to your stomach.
But let's face it, you took upon yourself to do quite a lot of things last stream.
Yeah.
And, well...
And my notes went like this. Do that, then go down here and do that, and then go up here again to do stuff. And then, yeah, I could not... It went to a certain point, then it was unreadable, and my brain stopped working because I'm learning this live on stream, which is interesting in and of itself.
It's been a couple of years since you talked to CSS.
I think we can say a couple of decades, maybe. More like 15, 20 years ago or something.
I remember the time of BBSs. I remembered, I believe it was Scott Hanselman that was going to be introduced on stage, and there was the guy, I believe it was the guy who introduced him, was like, do you want me to say something? And Scott Hanselman said, yeah, you can go out on stage and say something like, well, the next speaker is so old that he uses BBS. He used to use BBSs or something like that. But he got it wrong, so he says BSSs or something like that. And Scott Hanselman is like, oh, God, I'm old. Didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to just do something else.
It's not.
Let's see if we can switch over to my computer and see what we got. So add responsiveness to the menu. That was something that we added last time. That's something we want to do this stream.
Yeah. That was confusing. We added it last time, so we want to add it. You meant as an item.
Yes, we added it as an item. And if you didn't see our last stream, look, you could watch them on YouTube that way.
Yeah, and then you can figure out just how bad my notes was.
And if you're watching this on Twitch, please subscribe on the YouTube channel if you're using it. If you're watching it on Twitch, please subscribe on our... Did I just say that? I said that, didn't I?
I think so.
Okay, let's do that again. Okay, if you're watching this on Twitch, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe on Twitch channel. Is that better?
And YouTube.
And YouTube, everywhere.
All the subscriptions.
And if you're watching well, we are working on our homepage, right? So we are going to do a whole lot better job at adding all the things.
We want to add all the things.
If you check out our Twitch, we do have a link to our Discord. We have some swag. We have
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
Yeah. And we actually got some feedback from a viewer, which we actually took up. We did. So we used to have our faces in the background of ourselves, but we usually stand behind each other, I think. Yeah. And we got feedback that it might actually be a little bit too much stuff going on. They only wanted to see us once, right? Once is enough. And we agreed. So if you have any feedback, join our Discord and let us know.
Or just comment on our YouTube videos.
That works as well.
Whatever way. Okay, so add responsiveness to the menu. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that today. Is that what we're talking about?
We don't want to do that today?
We do want to do that
today.
Yeah,
and we want to add the hamburger before that.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if we want that.
Do you want that as 2 separate
I
items?
don't know. You tell me. I'm going to do them in 2 separate steps.
Okay,
because,
if you're going to do them in 2 separate... let's do it. Add hamburger. Now I'm hungry.
Oh, you will
Is that
be
with
even
cheese
more.
or not?
No, actually, I think I will make it a veggie burger since I'm allergic to meat.
You...
A halloumi burger?
Oh, that's okay.
Fish
Add
burger?
hamburger. Okay, it's already in there. That's good.
Awesome.
So... Okay, so we are adding... We're doing 2 things. And I think that knowing how much CSS and styling and stuff going into this, I think that's quite enough.
We will actually do a transition as well on the burger menu.
Animations.
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
Animations. Awesome. Okay, so...
we also got some new lightings.
We do. We do.
Well, that's how my brain works. We actually did get a couple of new lights, so hopefully we will not look as washed out and bright red. Mm-hmm. We are still a little bit red because we have vampire skin or complexion of a vampire. So we get red quite easily.
And we need to do something about our drunk camera as well at some point.
Yeah,
But,
and actually the lights, we have our sponsors to thank for. Mm-hmm. And our sponsor, Progress Telleric.
And they have amazing Blazor UI controls that, if you're using Blazor, you should definitely check that out. And we're not saying that because they are our sponsors. We're saying that because we love them and we love their components.
I think it was the other way around. We like them. We use their controls. You use their controls. Yeah. And then we started our corporation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's actually the other way around.
All right. So should I switch over to your computer?
Okay. So let's see if I can actually read my notes this time. Okay. So actually I cheated a little because I made a mess of things last time. So I have cleaned it up and removed all the, stuff I couldn't make heads or tails of.
So a little bit backing up.
We're backing up a little. About here, I think I lost everything and it just went downhill from there. So let's start here. Just so I understand what I'm doing. Because this is all new to me. And I have a Visual Studio. Would you look at that?
What is up with the lighting?
I like the lighting. And I should probably zoom in. How do I do that? Control plus, right? No.
No, the...
All right, here it is.
Down there.
Let's see. Oh, you can't drag it? Can I? Oh my gosh, it's not responding to anything. I need to actually put something in.
The dark theme would have fixed that.
Would it really?
So the
Let's try this. Is this enough?
Worth mentioning is that you don't live in Visual Studio like I do.
I don't.
So this is pretty new for you.
Yeah. Visual Studio and I are not friends. We're getting acquainted, but we're not besties. I actually prefer Visual Studio Code because it's... Yeah, I know. I prefer Visual Studio Code because it's not as scary. It doesn't look as scary for someone who does not know even 1% of what's going on.
So, you know what? Next time it's your turn to code. Let's try and do that in Visual Studio Code.
But now I'm getting used to it. No, it's good. It's good to be in this environment as well, so I actually know, and it's not as scary. It's starting to become a little less scary now, because I'm just ignoring all the things I don't understand. That's how I roll. But yeah, and I usually have light themes on my stuff. I'm sorry, I know you don't like that, but
Well, I don't have
When
to
you have
watch
my
the screen,
eyesight,
so that's fine.
you need all the contrast you can get.
It's kind of like looking straight into an Elgato key which is the light we got.
At 100%, right?
Yeah, at 100%.
Okay. So here we are.
Great.
I'm thinking we don't want the hamburger menu in the middle. I'm thinking we want it to the left.
Okay. So now, what are we designing now? Are we designing the mobile version or are we designing the desktop version?
The mobile version.
Okay. So we always start with the mobile, or always. You always start with the mobile.
Yeah, because I think it's a little bit easier to get all the issues out of the way, and it will also help us to figure out the most important part of what we're showing on the screen, because we only have that much screen real estate on a mobile, and then we have done the work. What's important, we don't have to do it the other way around and then just redo the large screen. You can, of course, do the other way around, but that's up to you. For me, I'm lazy. I want to get all the difficult stuff out from the beginning, and then I just get more screen, which, of course, always isn't the easiest way, but it's still, for me, easier. Mobile first, yes. Thank you, Egil. He's on my side. I think it has a lot of good things when you do it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at that. It's on the left, like magic.
And we're done.
So, yeah, this is what I had. This is what I can do. No, but actually we want to make sure that in case we change anything in the CSS, we want to make sure that we have no margins and paddings and stuff, so we can control that in our list.
Egil says that it helps focus on the important features, like tests.
Exactly. You will notice. Let me show you. We actually have a... Look at that. It says test. Well, it's invisible on stream, but it actually is a test project.
That was, I believe, the second stream we added the test project.
It's not good test, but it tests.
Yeah, we're not doing test first or test driven. That's a whole another story.
Yeah, we're not good enough for that yet.
Yeah, and we'll definitely come back to that when we know what we are going to test.
Yeah. So let's set the padding and the margin to 0 just to make sure we know what we're doing. And I'm also going to do a list style of none. Not that we today have any bullet points, but just in case we break something else in the CSS, I don't want a bullet point in my on my cheese, so to speak. Well, you say move my cheese, so why not?
Egil says that I remember from our conversation.
Yes, we recorded a podcast with Egil about testing, amongst other things, and the different approaches you can have with testing, if you're testing first or afterwards. Mm-hmm.
And if I could actually look that up, because we recorded a podcast with Egil.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Let's see here.
Okay. Where we at now? We just removed the padding and we didn't have any, so it doesn't really look any different. But we still need to make it a little bit more touch-friendly, because if I switch back here again, you see it's kind of tight in between these. I mean, you could touch them with your fingers, but your fingers are kind of big, and I think the average touch of your finger is like 12 millimeters or something like that. The average touch, I don't know, fingertip or whatever. And this is not that. So let's make it a little bit easier. So in our nav A, so that's our URLs, we can make the font size a little bit bigger. And I want to make them 1.2 rems larger. And last time we talked about ems and rems. So rems will inherit the size from the root element. In this case, in our case, it's is it 16 or 18? I'm totally blanking. I think it's 16, right? Yeah. So it's 18 would be a little bit too large. So it's 16 times 1.2, which I think it's just under 22 pixels. So we are making it a little bit larger.
We have another question. Code CSS from scratch. Are we using a framework?
Well, we try.
Let's open the box.
Let's open the box. Okay, so me and Bootstrap, we don't get along. I don't get along with a lot of things. That we can draw that conclusion. But when I try to change a little thing on our page, I tore my hair out. It was insane. We had over 20,000 lines of CSS, and I had no clue what did what. And we used Bootstrap. We've also talked with Ed Shabana about Bootstrap and Tailwind. And for us, we want to try to make it as small as possible and manageable and understandable for me. And it's also giving me a chance to actually learn a little bit of CSS because it's been 15, 20 years ago when I in CSS did stuff.
It's always good to know the basics. Well, even if you're using a framework, it's always good to know the basics.
Yeah. Today, our page that is live, which because this isn't live yet, we are using a framework.
I don't even know.
No, we don't even know what it is.
Something.
It's something, and we do have a little bit of overhead there.
Yeah.
So we're just trying, and it's a good way for me to find awesome stuff that you can do in CSS that I had no clue you could do in CSS.
So, Eagle is Tailwind CSS. Talking about that. Well, we did talk to Ed, and he kind of had the same. He came to the same conclusion as I did by just looking at Tailwind CSS, and to me it feels like we're using CSS classes, but we're using them as if they were style attributes. We're just not putting CSS in there. We're putting something else in there.
I think it's good if you just want something up, fast, and running. You don't really want to do the nitty-gritty. You can do, of course, with that as well. And it's fine, and it's very easy. It's the reason why we have that in some places, because it's so easy to get started with. But for us, we want a little bit more control, and I want to understand how to change the URL color.
And let's face it, even though all these frameworks are widely adopted, CSS is going to have more content on the web. So if you have any questions, pure or native or whatever you want to call it, pure CSS is definitely going to be better.
Yeah, we're going to find more resources.
For resource sake.
Okay, so I've enlarged the font, and I'm also doing a text transform to uppercase.
So we're doing 16, but we're doing 1.2.
Yes, because rem will inherit from the root. So basically from the HTML tag or from our root that we have up here in the beginning, where we're setting some stuff right here. So we could, if it doesn't find it here, it's in the HTML file, and if it doesn't have any, it goes for the browser standard, which is usually the same size.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing. And let's see. There we go.
It's bigger.
It's bigger, but it's still a little bit tight. So we should actually do a little bit of fixing up. So in our list item, we can put margin. I can't spell margin for the life of me. I keep putting a G afterwards.
Height and length are my nemesis.
So let's do a margin bottom, and let's do it 1M. So M instead inherits from the parent, and it's also compounding. So if it happened to inherit twice, it will be 4 times as big. So let's see, what did that? There we go. So now we have 16 extra pixels between here because we had that 1M. Okay. So we still, I mean, we get the mouse pointer on here when we hover the URL, but it's not very clear that we're hovering. So let's do a hover. So we can do nav a colon hover.
Hey, new place. Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Let's see. I'm getting revenge.
And we have a drunk camera
we have the
again.
drunk camera
Hello,
again.
camera.
Yeah, it's even more drunk than last time. We need to get that fixed. But I'm trying to get revenge on the CSS today. We should have named the episode that. Okay.
Gonna try and move around a little bit. Hopefully the camera comes in focus. Hello, camera. I'm over here. There we go.
That's what we're doing. You know what? We should have a hover color. Remember, we set the colors here in the root for it's not calling color. It's oh my gosh, variables. So let's do a variable.
A new place is going to have a new C# book this Saturday.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Did you finish the other one already? Because amazing. Let's see.
Revenge of the Day.
Yes, that's the name of it. We want a hover font color, I'm thinking. And we want the blue color that we have. Do I have that code somewhere hidden around so I don't have to look it up? Let's cheat a little and see if I actually got that in my notes. I do. So it will be it's the middle blue color we have on our logo.
Oh, it's outdated. C# 2 and 3. And the one I'm getting for my birthday will be C# 9. There is so many things that are awesome with C# 9.
Yeah.
And we are drunk again. What is up?
No, we're not drunk. The camera is drunk. Yeah, I think we need to point. There we go.
Okay, we're gonna stand here.
We need a new camera.
We do.
So where am I? I am at the hover. Here we go. So we can put our variable in here and look at that. Hover font color. There we go. Because we need a hover color. And if I've done this right, it should be around the same blue color as these brackets and the text. Look at that.
It is.
Yeah. And I think that this will actually work in dark theme as well. We should probably check that out. So I am opening the... Where was that? It was on the dots, right? and more tools, and I think it was called rendering.
So Eagle has dinner time.
Food!
Have a great stream, my friends. See ya. Have a great dinner.
Thank you for stopping by. Where is my...
What is the end point of the site? The end point is going to be, well, it's going to be a site for coding after work, which is a user group. It's a YouTube channel, stream, podcast, Discord, everything basically.
Yeah.
Everything we do. So it's going to be a good place to find our resources, basically.
Look at that.
That works.
Yeah. So we do have a page today, but it's...
It's only for the podcast.
Yeah, and it's less than optimal.
Yeah.
And it's full of CSS I don't understand, because it's some sort of bootstrap thingy.
No, it's not bootstrap. It's something else.
Yeah,
it's something
thingy.
Horrific.
We don't even know what it is.
It's a WordPress CSS of horror.
So speaking of dinner, I think that we need to work on our actual burger, because now we have the stream. Oh, with this stream, we have the menu down here to the side, and we also want a actual burger. So in the, let me check, main layout. How could I forget that? We need to add a checkbox before the navigation, because we're going to do this without a JavaScript. And to do that, we can actually use... I tried to start this last time, so let's see if I can make it work this time. We can use the function of the input type checkbox, was what I was trying to do.
So the cool thing with this solution is we're not using any JavaScript.
No.
And we're not using any postbacks. So
No.
What would normally happen if you're looking at the default project template in Blazor, what is going to happen is you're going to click the button, it's going to whoosh back to the server. In our case, we're using Blazor server. It's going to go back, it's going to re-render, it's going to push those changes over SignalR again. And in the case of WebAssembly, we're going to go back, you're going to run some code, and it's going to come back to the those changes are going to be pushed back with JavaScript interrupts. But in this case, we're talking about something that is not going to do that at all. It's just going to be in the browser, not going back, not running any C# code or anything.
Yeah, I am amazed, well, if I get it to work, that you can do this with just CSS. So I have done the... Hello, drunken camera. I think you need to be like here somewhere. No? Come on. There we go. My hand is large. So I've made the checkbox, and I've given it a class of Nav Toggle and an ID of Nav Toggle, because the input type actually needs an ID. It skips classes, so it doesn't matter if I give it a class, it won't even see the class. But because I'm lazy, I'm very effective, I want to write one class to rule them all instead of having a class and ID. So everything will happen at once. And we, of course, need, because nothing happened on the page, basically. So we need to actually show our menu. So let's scroll up to our navigation. And, well, actually we need to remove it because we can see it. Otherwise, we don't have anything to toggle. So
basically, what we're talking about is that if we have a mobile version, we don't want to show the menu, we want to hide it, and we want to toggle it with the burger.
Yes, exactly. So right now we should have nothing because I removed it.
But we do have a little bit of a checkbox.
We do have. There it is. Look at that.
Whoop,
I can click it. And nothing happens. So I think we need to fix that as well. If we go down here and let's check if it's actually checked. And this is what gets me. I can do logic in CSS. I had no clue.
I'm trying to blink a couple of times to get the camera to unfocus because I'm thinking it's my eyes that is that's the problem.
Okay, so we are doing like so. So what we're doing is that the tilde is looking for a sibling. So on the same row, basically. So if we look here, input, this is our input, and it's looking for a sibling, which we have here in the nav. So we're looking for a nav inside of the nav toggle sibling. Well, and here, if it's actually toggled, we want to display so we can see how that it's showing up. So let's reload that, and there we go.
Awesome.
So now but this is, I mean, we do have the function, but we don't want the checkbox in a mobile environment. So we maybe don't want that one. So let me, whoops. My notes!
Notes!
Is that what I sound like? Or is that how you just hear everything like that?
I hear everything in some kind of quote.
Yeah, I believe
quote.
that. I believe that. Okay, so let's do the nav toggle here. And remove it. Display none. So if it's toggled, display none. Let's see. Does it work? There we go. We don't see it anymore, which, of course, is an issue when we're testing it. So I think we can fix that by going in here and do a span. Actually, we can do a label and a span. So let's do a label for the nav toggle. And it actually helps me with that. And let's give it a class and call it nav toggle label. Am I spelling toggle right?
I think so.
Okay. You never know with me. There we go. So we have a label, and inside that label, we can put a span. And in that span, we just put a little X. So let's see. No X.
No X.
Because I removed it, right? No? Because I haven't written the class for nav toggle label, or why? Why doesn't it show up? Because I toggled it, right? Let's try it again. I still don't have the... Oh, because I didn't build it! Right. So something that I have learned is that if I change anything in the CSS, I can just refresh the site. But if I change anything in the components, I need to build it, and they will come. No, they didn't. There we go. Here it is.
You know what?
Yep.
You know the quote, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
You know that one? That everyone knows that it's Luke, I am your father. But it's not. It's no, I am your father.
Yeah.
The same thing is with the quote you just did. You just said, build it and they will come. It's actually he will come.
Yeah, but I wasn't actually quoting it, but...
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I messed up.
But that's one of the things that everyone thinks that they will come. I'm kind of hooked on TikTok, so that was one of the TikToks I watched today.
Hooked?
Actually, you want another one?
Yeah.
You know, E.T., what does E.T. say when he wants to
Well,
call someone.
the common misconception, I'm guessing, is ET phone home.
Yeah, but it's really ET home phone.
Ah. So he does a Yoda.
Hey, ancient coder.
Hi. Okay, so the CSS is trying to mess with me right now. So I messed up somewhere. Why isn't my X showing up? Did I save that file or did I not? Let's just build it one more time and see if I messed up or if I didn't. You never know. It's probably me.
It's up there.
Oh, it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I'm just... never mind. I just took for granted that I did something wrong because CSS did that to me last time. Well, actually, I did it to myself, but... So where are we? We are at the nav toggle, so we can... I need to put... Somewhere, I need to put the function on the X. Why isn't it taking... I need to put the class on that, right? For the Nav Toggle Label, and I have the Nav Toggle. Let me look at you. How do you look? So I have the... I'm going to spell this wrong. Like I did in my notes. Toggle. So we have the label for Nav Toggle. Why isn't it taking my Nav Toggle?
So you have your...
I have the label for that one. Let's just copy that so I don't misspell it. There we go. Yeah. Why aren't you showing up? Let me know why you don't show up. Because it's showing the checkbox still. And the checkbox has the functionality. And this one should too, because it's it has the same class.
So it's the for that is supposed to connect those two.
Yeah, because I'm putting a label on the nav toggle, and this is my nav toggle, right? Have I done anything here to mess that up? No. Here's my nav. Why isn't this working? Come on, CSS. I was going to get revenge today. Okay, let's just remove all of that just in case it's messing things up with, which I don't think it does. Why? Because I still have the functionality down here.
Could it be that the menu, so the whole menu thing is on a Z index, so it could be on top of the X?
But it's a label for... No. I don't think so, because it's the label for the checkbox, and the checkbox I can use.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Maybe not. But if you put the X, where it should be, if you move it down, could that change?
It should actually be able to take it already.
Okay.
So let me look here. We have done the visibility. We have done where are we checking? So we have said if it's checked, it should display, and it does that when we click this one, right?
Yeah.
Why are you not clicking?
Because if you see, if you're clicking that one,
that's it does that for images. It would be the same if I'm clicking on it. It was just when I'm frantically clicking. If I click once, it's not. Let's Let's do what? Let's see here. Where's the nav toggle label? Is that how I spell it? No, label. See? Told you I was going to misspell it. And let's put, that's the label. Position.
Stacy's here. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Just in time for when I'm not getting revenge on CSS. It's been behaving until now. So let's see. Positioning it. Give it a position. And because we want it up here on the top, right? And we want it to the left, which it is already, but let's do it anyways. Let's see. It bugs me. I cannot figure out what I have missed to not have it click. What did I miss? So we have the nav toggle class. It is a checkbox.
Could it be that the label is not inside of the header? Could that be?
Oh my god.
I don't know if it should be.
It probably should. Yeah, I am. There we go. Thank you. Oh, I need to build it as well because we all know that. Gosh, that was interesting. Okay, so hold your breath. Yay! The label actually clicks.
Can I breathe now?
Yeah, you can breathe now. No, it wasn't your fault, Stacy. Not at all. It got fixed when you arrived. We need to see it like that. Okay. Whew. Gosh. Let's see. What else do we need to do? We need to remove the actual checkbox because it's ugly. Well, we don't need it. It's not ugly, but it looks like a checkbox. So let's do that. Okay. Did you disappear now? Awesome. And I can click here.
We have a checkbox, and we're using the label to check the checkbox.
Yes.
Check the checkbox. And based on whether or not that checkbox is checked, we're getting the menu to show and not show. That's
it's
crazy.
No JavaScript. It's amazing.
And actually, the no JavaScript part of this is not the amazing part. It's no C# either.
Yeah.
That's the combination of the two. We're not using anything of that.
It's only CSS. Yeah. That would be easier to say.
It would.
Yeah. So we don't want it to be all up in like up here. So let's put a little margin on it. And here we go. Margin and left because we want it to the left. Or is the camera still drunk? Yeah, we need.
I was hoping I could do the Jedi mind trick to get it undrunk, but that didn't work. There we go.
And we can actually put it.
I wonder what it's focusing on.
Yeah, me neither. I don't even know.
What are you seeing that we're not seeing?
Okay, so I'm putting a margin on it, and I'm also setting the height, and I will show you just why in a bit.
CSS can be awesome when it's not making you want to rip your own brain out.
Yeah, that's how I felt last time.
So at work, every time something needs to be CSS'd or there's some kind of component that we need to build, they just add it to the backlog and tag me and say, yeah, you need to do this. But I don't know CSS. Yeah, but you need to do that. Okay.
Actually, I want to have a little bit of margin here as well on the, look here. We have margin on the X, but we don't have it on the list item. So let's put a margin. Let's see if I can spell it. And put the left.
Where's margin?
I think it's because in Sweden we have a lot of ng. Okay. So it's in my fingers. It's like, I don't know, margarine? I don't know. No, that is actually without the ng, so that didn't help one bit. So now we should have them lining up a little bit nicer when I click there. There we go.
That looks fantastic.
So you notice I put a height on this as well, but it's still the same size. And I will show you just why I did that by putting a, what do you call it? You call it a border. 1 pixel solid yellow, maybe? No, not yellow. Let's put blue. And it's not how you actually put a border on, is it? Why doesn't it take? Why are you squiggly line? Okay, you're just being a... Oh, actually, I have a... Oh, yeah. Thank you. You are saving my behind. There you go. You see, this is the height I've set. Because I want to do magic stuff. Ooh. Remember how excited I was about center? Yeah, we're not going to do all the... Well, we're not using it anymore, but it's still pretty amazing. But what we can do is make it display... We can make it a flex. And we can align the items inside. Items. There we go. To the center, which will magically align it on in the center here. So now we can actually remove the border because I didn't like that. I think this is a little bit cooler. There we go. And we can still click it. I still can't get over the fact that this is actually CSS doing all that. Okay, burger time. You're getting hungry, aren't you?
I am.
So I'm not going to use an image. Because I'm going to push myself and see if I can mess up CSS. So the Nav Toggle Label span, so the span for that, and the Nav Toggle Label span before. And I'm just going to copy this because, come on. No, down. There we go.
Abort.
Yeah, a little bit. And we're going to call this after. Well, we're not going to call it. We're going to use the after so I can address all of it at the same time. So we want to select the span and the before and after. So let's make sure we actually have something to display. Display?
It is an Autobot t-shirt.
Yeah.
One of the few things we still have from the US, I guess.
What?
we haven't been there for a long time.
Yeah, but it's not one of the few things. One of the few things you still can enjoy. We have like 500 million t-shirts from the US. It's just your drinks and your beauty product you're angry about.
Nothing. I don't even remember the States.
Yeah. No travel. Okay. We also need to set a background, and we are going to set background. There we go. And we can use our variable that we set before, and we can use the font color. And you will see why in just a little bit. No, it's because we're going to display a block. Basically, we're drawing the line. I draw the line here. And we put a height
This far,
on it.
no further. That was a pretty bad Picard
It was.
impression.
Was that your Picard impression? I'm so sorry, people.
I was trying to move my accent to a little bit more English, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting a height on the block we're displaying and also width. And the width is, I'm using ems. So again, it's inheriting from the parent.
Is width correctly spelled? It seems wonky. But that's
I'm pretty sure
that's
it is.
one of the words that I can't spell, so...
Yeah, so we have a line. Actually, we can remove the X from the main layout now. The one I couldn't get to show because I put it in the wrong place. And I should probably build it in the meanwhile. There we go. And let's reload. So we have a line.
But we only got one.
Yeah, so basically now it's just a sausage. Or the patty, maybe. The patty. It's a veggie burger because I'm allergic to meat, so it's a veggie burger. Or you want a fish burger? I can eat fish. Halloumi burger?
Can I have another one?
Yeah, okay. We can make it a carnivore burger if you want to. So 2 M's in our case is 2 times 16, so it's 32 pixels. What we can also do, I'm a little bit too excited. We can do a border radius of 2 pixels to round it out a little bit. So let me zoom in. Can I zoom in here? Well, looks like crap, but notice the corners here. And let's see. They're a little all roundy and awesome.
All roundy and awesome. That's the quote of the day.
Yep. And let's give it a position relative. There we go. So right now we can still just see one of the lines, and we need to address that. So I'm going to copy stuff again. I don't want to write that again. Go down, you Blazor error message. I don't want you kind here. So, there. What did I just do?
Visual Studio helped you.
Yeah, a little bit too much. Okay. So we need to put content, or we need to use content, but we don't really have any content, so, well, that's an issue. But actually, if we don't use content, it will automatically set it to none, and that's an issue. So let's just do that. And also give it a position.
I wonder if I'm just going to stand like this for the rest of the show.
Stop! Okay. So it's not much that's happening on the page for now. But now we can actually address them one by one. So again, I'm going to copy this. Because we already saw I can't spell really. Again, down! I don't want to see the error message because that just reminds me that we need to fix it. So in the before, the span before, we want to move, let's say 8 pixels. We want to move the line 8 pixels up from the bottom. We are so blurry again. Yeah. There we go. So we want to move the line 8 pixels up from the bottom edge of the nearest position ancestor. So let's see if we can actually make that happen. No, we couldn't because I didn't save. Pro tip, save your CSS. And now we have a patty and half a bun or just the buns. And you can imagine that we are actually doing this once more. Let's tidy that up. And we're doing this for the after. And we're moving that 8 pixels from the top instead. So let's see, we have a burger. In CSS, it's not an image. I can't even. And it works.
Fantastic.
I mean, come on, that's pretty cool.
It is.
That's
It
pretty
is.
cool. You want us to animate stuff?
Yes.
Use transitions? Okay. So let me check out where we're going. We are going to the nav in the CSS. I took a little bit better notes this time. And I'm trying to take my time to actually find them this time. So first of all, let's remove the display none from here because we are doing amazing stuff now. And let's go down to our nav toggle checked tilde nav and remove that as well. So we're not using that anymore for now. And now we are going to add a transform, but maybe you want to see how it looks. It looks nothing. What? Yeah, now nothing works. That's awesome because we're not.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know. Let's check. Where do we want to add the transform? We want to add the transform in the nav. There we go. Let's say transform. And we want to use the scale. And we want to use... okay, so you can do a lot of cool stuff here. So let's try and see if we can make this work or if I'm, well, messing things up.
I don't need help.
You're not raising your hand?
And I had no idea that we're going to do some transforms.
No?
No, because
Transformers? Yeah. Uh-huh.
this is not by design. It is now.
So you see here, I put the scale to half, which means it is 50% on this side and 50% smaller on this side, but it's also a little bit squished. But of course, we don't want that. But what we can do is, what am I doing? Oh no. Wrong button. There we go. We can, it actually takes 2 parameters. So we can do 1 and 1 comma and 0.5, which means that it's 100% wide, but it's just 50% on the top. It is very, it squishes it together. It's not even pretty.
I'm not sure that I'm no designer, but
no. But what I actually want to do is I want it 100% wide, but I want it 0% height for now in the navigation here. So now it's just disappeared, right? Actually, we should remove... Why didn't they go away? Did I do that wrong? Where are my hamburger? Well, never mind them. I'm not going on a tangent here. Let's do what I think I'm supposed to do and handle that afterwards because I know how that went last time. And we are in the toggle checked nav. Here, we can put in a transition as well. Transition.
Stand like this.
Did it work?
Yeah, it seems so. Let's see.
That's interesting. So let's put in a transition transform here as well. Transition transform. No, that's not how you spell transform. Okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Hey, I can do like... Oh, I'm stuck in the screen. Help me. Help me.
Okay, so what we can do here is actually put in milliseconds. So it will actually take their time, and we can put an ease in and out on it. So let's see what that looks like. No, click, damn it. I removed the wrong thing, didn't I? When I removed one of the display thingies. Let's see. Let's roll back here. I removed it from Nav, right? Yeah. And I'm going down in... Why? Checked. The checked nav. I have too many mouse pointers here as well. Check nav here. Where did I put that? Oh, right. I am just messing up, I think. Because this one is not even going in that place. Because in the nav, where's my checked? Checked. Here's my checked. I removed that one. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'm actually supposed to show it. So transform scale. I went ahead a little. 1, 1, which means we now have 100%. If it's so instead of toggle the visibility we did with the other way around, we scale it to say now we want it 100% and 100%. Okay, so let's see if that works better. No! There we go. So if I click it, before I didn't show anything, so it was transparent. Of course, we still saw it. I was just having a brain fart. So now we get it to transform, or at least click. So it does the same thing, literally. But what we can do is what I was kind of fast. Let me remove that part in my notes so I know that I have done that, because apparently my note-taking skills aren't the best one. So now we can actually put in this piece of code that is, we put a transition on the transform. So it will take 400 milliseconds and we get an ease in and ease out. And now hopefully, there we go. It's easing in and out. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it's animating. But you wouldn't let me publish this, right? I wouldn't let me publish this.
Well, if you push that to the server, it's going to publish it. So I can't stop you.
Well, actually, I can stop myself because I can say transform origin from the top. So it's actually starting at the top. So hopefully that will look a little bit better. See?
It did.
But it's still a little bit squishy. But I mean, I could at least live with that part. So let me remove some stuff just because you know how my note-taking skills go. So we need to fix that, right? Where is my code again? Let's see. Where's my... Don't I have a nav A? Here we go. We have a nav A. And we have an uppercase. We can set the opacity to 0, which means it's invisible. And we can actually put a transition on here as well. While we are here, we can put a transition opacity. Opacity, is that correctly spelled? Let's see. And let's put it 150 milliseconds and put an ease in, ease out on it, so we get a little bit of cool stuff going on here. And let's see. I think we might need to. There we go. now we have said that the text shouldn't be visible, of course, but we still have a transition. So in the nav toggle checked nav, we have here the transform. We can do what? What can we do here? We can't do anything here. No. Which am I? No, I think we should put that in the nav toggle check nav A. I think we should put in like this. So this is going to be a little bit more specific. So nav toggle checked tilde nav A. So now we're targeting the URLs in the navs that's a sibling to the nav toggle. Whew.
Say that fast 3 times.
Yeah, and now we need to set the opacity back to 1. Okay. So let's see if this works now, or if I need to do other magic stuff. There we go. You see it disappears when I click on it. It's disappearing.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It is.
And you can play around with this, how fast you do all those stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think so. We can actually put a transition on this way as well, because it's checking. If it's checked, it does one thing. If it's not checked, it does nothing, unless we tell it to. So let's do that. Let's tell it to do a transition when... No, I said transition. Transition. And set the opacity. I think we need a little bit longer time for this, because as soon as it gets checked, we want the block to be able to fold out before we show the text. And we want the ease in, ease out. And now for the kicker, we can actually put a delay on the animation, which is this last number here. So we put a delay. It should wait 250 seconds before it starts with the animation, which is to change the opacity. So let's see how that looks. You see, now it's disappeared. We can actually, it's pretty cool, but it's hard to see when it's so fast. So let's put it on 2.5 seconds. And there you go. And it's fading in as well, because we're using that fade in, fade out. But they shouldn't be waiting 2.5 seconds.
We're using CSS to get a fast response, and we're like, yeah, we're going to add a delay, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, why not? Because it's so fast. But that's kind of cool, isn't it? And again, this is completely without CSS. Of course.
With CSS.
Well, completely without JavaScript. Whew, brain. But now we have the same layout on all sizes.
And this is also something I'm guessing we talked to Ed about at Shopper.
We did.
So if you want to check that episode out, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that was a good stream as well.
Yeah.
How are we on time?
We have 20 minutes.
Okay. Whew. So let's
minutes.
try. Let's try to actually not have a burger menu if we have a wider screen. Of course, we still have to close the web, so we can't actually see what I'm talking about. We still have some issues here that we need to solve, because we know we have a too large, the image is too large. We could use that later to, we need to fix that later and change the image for the mobile view, but we don't have to do that just now. Again, done is better than perfect. So we can actually create a media query again, which we talked a lot about with Ed Chabana. He kind of, it's pretty much his fault that I'm doing the CSS part, because he was talking about all the cool stuff, and you can do so much cool stuff.
And I think it's really cool that with the media queries, you can change the layout depending on the size of the window. And also the animations are, well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's way more easy than I would have anticipated.
Yeah.
Just add a transition and it's just going to trigger it.
Yeah, I think that we take for granted that it's harder to do than it might be. Of course, I mess up all the time. I'm learning on stream and all that, but it's still not the end of the world. Actually, I have more issue trying to find something in like Bootstrap or Tailwind or what have you. But I always thought that Bootstrap, they have done all the work for me. I can just look what cool stuff they do. You need to be so good and have 50 years of experience, and then I can just do a media query. So I'm asking for the screen size. I'm checking for the screen size, and I put in min width. Well, there you go.
So minimum width of 700
That's my break
pixels.
point. Yeah.
So what we're actually saying is that for screens that are larger than 700 pixels,
show the non-mobile version.
Yeah.
And this is just an arbitrary number when you're doing responsive design. If you're doing adaptive design, sometimes you use specific screens. Like we have the iPhone, that's a certain amount of pixels. We have that and that and that. And again, I like to be, especially on the web, I would say, it comes in handy not to pay attention too much to all the different devices and the sizes that you have there, and just focus on whatever your content is. If you have a picture that's 500 pixels, and you want to show that for as many people as possible, set your min width to 500, and then change the picture if you want to. It does not matter what screen, what device, I should say, that the user is having, because that's up to the web to fix for you. So I'm just concentrating on whatever content we have. So this is a completely arbitrary number. Now, we don't want the burger menu to show up for the computers or the larger screens. So we can go in and say the Nav Toggle Label, display none, which apparently I cannot spell to you either. So there we go. Now it's disappearing. Yay. I mean, why should we have it here? And I can actually show, just for kicks, if it's smaller than 700, it will show the burger menu. And there we go. So it is a little bit magic. Well, maybe not magic, but
CSS magic.
Yeah, CSS magic. We can also use a CSS grid for the header. So
what I do like about this is that we are designing for mobile first.
Yeah.
That means that the mobile version is the version that is default, and we are making the exceptions for bigger screens, not the other way around, which I imagine, well, I do that at work, and I imagine that a lot of people do that. They start with a big screen and they do exceptions for smaller devices.
Yeah, and I think that it's, if you're working on a stationary or a laptop, it comes naturally because that's what you see all day when you're developing. But I mean, all the large screens can actually render the smaller design, but the smaller screen cannot render all large designs. So if you're really lazy or crunch for time, just do one for mobile. And then you can come back and revisit that. So I'm making the header into a CSS grid, and I want it to be 3 columns wide. So I can put in a grid template for the columns and say that I want... Here we actually also have a min-max, and I will come back and explain what it is, but I'm apparently not a good typer and talker at the same time.
That is not an easy skill to master.
No, it's not. Okay, so let's look at this. I am saying that I want 1 column here that should be 1 fraction. And a fraction is just kind of like percentage or a part. So 1/3 or 1 whatever. And I'm saying that the second column should have a minimum width of 400. And here we have 3 times, so 3 fractions, so 3 times as big as the left and right areas.
So whatever they are, this is going to be 3 times bigger.
If the screen size allows it. Otherwise, it's minimum 400.
Yeah.
So that we're just using this because I don't know exactly how large it will be. So it will do all the... I don't have to use percentage. I could, but this is a little bit easier, and it's new for me, so I wanted to use it. So I'm saying on either side, put 1 fraction. And then 3 times as large, which we will see. There we go. It moves in here. And now we can get to use the developer tools again here. Let me close that one. And if we press the grid, the little grid logo here, we can actually see the grid lines and the numbers and so on. So that comes in handy. Okay, but we do want it in... We want to put... we want to put the image in the middle one. And right now it's in the first column. So we want to move it over a little bit. So let's say that the header image... There we go. Let's put that in the grid column number 2, and I want it to span over 1 column. So let's see if that worked. There we go. Let's press that. So now we have on the left side of the image, we have 1 fraction. On the right side, we have 1 fraction. And if I change the size of the page, well, I'm just scrolling here, we can see that the actual content, the empty space in the middle column is actually increasing. So it could be up to 3 times as large as those on the side. But this doesn't look good, I would say, when it's supposed to be centered. Centered is the magic here, which is pretty simple to do in this grid. We just say justify items to the center.
So now everything in each grid or a grid cell is going to be centered. Is that what's happening?
In the header, in the CSS grid.
Right.
Yeah. So all the items will be...
So if we had something in the grid cells, or whatever you want to call them, on the first and the third one, that would be centered as well in that. Okay.
That's how I understand it, at least. Let's zoom in a little bit because it was a little tiny. Okay. So what else do we need to do? Okay, so we have a lot of things that we set when we did the mobile version. So we can actually still inside our media query put in a nav. And in the nav, we can do magic again, because we can say unset everything, which means it will remove everything that we may or may not have set earlier. So now we have a clean slate. Everything is we might not have been forced to do so. It might be unnecessary, but then we have a clean slate, and I'm pretty sure that we have unset everything that we have set or not set.
That's cool. Didn't know about that one.
It's kind of cool. But do we have the... No, we don't have. Why don't we have the menu? Let's see. We need to set the nav A, I think. Could that be why it's not showing up yet? Let's set the opacity to 1. Oh. To 1. Do you show up now? Hey, cool. There we go.
An odd place for it.
Very odd place.
Fair enough. It's showing.
It's showing. And it's showing there because we have occupied the second one, and it's just moving over to the column. But we don't want it there, do we? At least, no, I don't want it there.
Well, you're the designer, so I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
But we can put it on the second row. Like so. Row number 2. And we can also... Should we check if it moved down? It moved down! Look at that! Cool. But it's still not in the best optimum place, is it? So we can say, just like we did with the image, we can say grid column, and we can specify that we want it in the second column. But now I'm going to show you another way to do exactly what I did before. So we have here grid column 2, and it's supposed to span over one column. But you can also put it like this, which is saying start at the second, start on on the number 2 line and span to the number 3 line, which is exactly the same as the other one, but you can put it either way. If you prefer span, you could put span over 2 columns, or you can put it like this. So let's see if it worked. Ta-da!
Nice.
So we moved it in the right direction, but I mean, we can't have that, can we? I would say that we probably would want that to be on a line instead.
Horizontally.
Yeah. Yeah, I have such issues knowing what's horizontally and vertically. I mean, I know the words and I do understand that this is horizontal, but aligning horizontally, does that mean on the horizontal line, or does it mean, I don't know, up and down and left and right? So in our list, we can make it a flex. So we have a flex box here now. There you go.
Nice.
Starting to look like something, at least. We still need to fix a little bit of margin. So in our list item, and I mean, it doesn't matter really if we put this margin in the UL or list item. I think it makes a little bit more sense for me to put it on the list item, because that's where the actual content lives.
Right.
Which makes it easier for me to understand that I'm padding that one and I'm putting margin around that one and not on the UL, which you can do as well, of course. So let's put a margin bottom.
I know I said that already, but you make it look so simple.
Oh, really? You have no idea. I have better notes this time, though. So, first of all, let's move it down because we don't need a lot of padding on the bottom for now. And we can also put some margin left because we had that on the content itself. So, and this you can also do in different ways. I'm going to show you. I want a padding margin of 3 because we can space it. No. Where did I miss something? Why are you a squiggly? Oh my God! 3 what? There we go. 3 M's. So we have a little spacing. And this is fine. But being the person I am, if we look at the padding here, you can see that there is a lot more space on the left side than there is on the right side because we put the padding on the left.
Right.
So it's actually not center, which will bug me forever. So I'm going to do it like this instead. I'm going to be that person. And I'm going to put the margin right. There are probably a lot better ways to do that. Margin right. And put
Stacy
that
noticed that one and wondered if we were going to deal with it.
Thank you. I'm not the only one. So I'm doing it this way.
So what did you do now?
What I did now is I put 1.5 M's on the left side and 1.5 M's on the right side, which means we will get extra padding left to home and equal amount on right of podcast. So now it is actually centered. So that's, yeah. I like it like that. Center. And we do have the hover effects from before. So that still works. And I'm not sure if we're going to end up having the menu centered. We don't even know how many URLs we are going to have. So for now, I think we could keep it like this.
For now, I think that's the amount of URLs we are going to have because Discord is not going to have it's not going to need a
separate
its own
one?
link up there at least. I'm thinking that we might add a footer or something like that, or maybe one more that is called social or something like that. And we got TikTok and Discord and all of those, Twitter and all of those things.
But I think until we know exactly what content we need, we can leave it at this, like this. So Css drop.
We're done?
We are done.
We are done.
We are done. And I need to show just one more time.
Yeah, show the...
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
It drops down.
Look at that. If you open it a little bit more. There we go. And when you drag it down, it's actually disappearing with a fade. Look at that.
Let's see.
There we
go.
So, or
yep.
an
it
animation.
It is on the checked, not checked.
Yeah.
So we will get to keep that.
That's cool. I like it.
No CSS. No JavaScript. Only CSS.
So let's jump over to my computer and we will see our
A really cool effect.
Yeah.
Also without...
This is animation.
Yeah, also without JavaScript.
Maybe not.
You never know.
Okay, so we added responsiveness to our menu.
We did. We at least started it.
We are done with that one. We're done for now. Let's.
I mean, we're taking baby steps.
Yeah.
Just so we can replace the page we actually have, and then we can iterate and do a lot of cool stuff. And we might end up rewriting whatever stuff we already did, like the center CSS, for instance. For now, we don't use it because we moved up the image on top. So we actually have a piece of CSS that's not even in use.
And we added a hamburger.
Yeah, we did that with the animation.
And let's pop back to the backlog. Now I think we do have a couple of, as you mentioned, this is just baby steps. We still have a lot of stuff left to do. We need to style our content pages.
Yes.
We need to add an about page and stuff like that. And let's add another one. Let's change the
What are we changing?
image.
Oh, yeah.
We need to do that.
Yeah, because the image we
some
have
way.
now, and the reason I didn't bother is that it's humongous. I think it's 1400 pixels wide. Let's just get the functionality up there, bare minimum. And we also need to do that for mobile. We need to change, we need to have a responsive mobile image.
Right. But isn't that part of the changing the image?
I don't know, you tell me.
I think so.
Okay.
We're going to change the image.
Are
and
you
we're
going to
make sure
remember what that means next
do
week?
it like this. Add
You
a
need to.
new image that works with
That's actually two images, but
both. Okay. Add new images.
yes, please.
Work with
Not
both
that I'm picky.
mobile and desktop.
And I know Stacy will actually approve that we are not just putting in the header, but I also think that she is on my team, that it should have been 2 stories.
And we are going to add, what are those called?
I don't know.
The icons. Let's call it icons.
What icons?
The
Fav
one,
icons?
Yeah, fav icons. Thank you. Fav icons, and well, let's call it fav icons. Because when we're talking about iPhone and Android and all of those, they have different sizes and stuff like that.
So you should call it iconography or something.
Okay, let's do that. Add iconography.
Sounds good.
That's good. So do you want me to change this to 2 items? Or should we do that in a refinement?
You got me on refinement. Oh my gosh, you knew exactly how to do that. Whew. Yeah, so sometimes we do have a lot of discussions about how to do Agile, because Jimmy does Agile. Or Scrum, but...
I am super agile because I can change everywhere,
Yeah,
every
that is
time,
true.
all
Yeah.
the time. So, okay. So yesterday, or
Yeah.
actually the day before that, something happened. Visual
Oh,
Studio.
right. We already have that in the backlog, though.
We do. But for
Because
some
you're talking
reason,
about .NET 6.
I'm talking about .NET 6. Preview 7 is out, where it's going to be all types of awesome hot reload and stuff like that. We talked about it at work today, and we were like, yeah, so let's see if we're going to wait, or we're going to do it, or we're going to wait. So,
Since when do you wait?
well, what we came up with was that we are going to go all in. So we're going to upgrade to Preview 7. So what I'm thinking is that this point is suddenly the most important point.
You can have that. I have had 2 streams where you were not allowed to upgrade.
It's time.
Yeah, it's okay.
And
Stacy runs away screaming.
and the really cool thing is that there are a couple of things in .NET 6 that would help us.
Yep.
Because in the podcast page, on the actual page, we added a possibility to add a time, so we can
A timestamp.
Timestamp, so we can jump into a specific point in the MP3 or
which
the
is really
file.
cool if you hear something and you find it useful and you think, well, maybe my friend can actually use this. You can point them to the exact second.
And we can do the same as with YouTube. We can have some like segments. So this is where we talk about this. This is where DC is better than Marvel and stuff like that.
Never.
So we can do a lot of awesome things like that. But I really wanted to use the same syntax as YouTube. And right now it's just the ID of the show / the time. And there is a you could already with .NET 5 use query strings, but it's a little bit wonky, and I decided to opt out of that. But with .NET 6 with Preview 7, there's actually a very easy way to do that. So we can take a look at that, how that works.
Yeah, that's a good demo of new things in .NET 6 as well.
Yeah, and there's also...
So add that to the item or the backlog.
Do that. Change the way the...
No, I'm holding up my hand.
Timestamp. Actually, let's do it like this. Move the timestamp to times. No, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Move the timestamp to query string, like that. Okay, that's good. So let's do that. This is the most important thing.
Well, upgrade first.
And there's also some SEO stuff going on, or actually it's so with .NET 5 there was a preview version that you could change the head content, so basically the title of the page or the meta tags and all of that.
So SEO is search engine optimization.
Yes.
So basically the header or the head is where the crawlers or whatever you call them goes and look what is the content of this page and how can we use that in searches.
Yeah. So and of course having YouTube and having podcasts and all of that, we need that. That's important. And we also have add SEO.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move that up as well.
And so we can start on that. We won't be ready.
No, not at all.
But we can at least...
But we can add that and take a look at that. I haven't even tried this, so I don't know what the state of it is, but this was new for Preview 7. So.
You get a remake like I did, so you can get
one.
revenge. Yeah, only one.
One redo.
Yeah, you get one redo, like I did with the CSS for today.
And I'm thinking that these 3 are probably not a very long time. Do you think that we could style the content pages as well?
Maybe. Or add an about page.
Okay.
Well, let's figure that out.
Yeah,
let's figure that out.
We don't have to add anything to the sprint. We don't have to commit to this right now.
We do that on the sprint planning, which is next week. Maybe not next week, actually.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So we are, next week, I am talking on the .NET show.
Yeah.
Here on Twitch as well. And the week after that, you are talking.
I am.
And
you're talking about really cool stuff.
I am. So
gadgets.
Blazor and gadgets. So I'm actually taking a week of vacation time next week to finish all the demos, because this is some really new stuff.
And really cool stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope
well,
it works.
I've heard the sounds and noises and gadgets going on in the background, so I think so.
We're gonna talk about Bluetooth. We're gonna talk about USB devices, and let's just hope that.
And the reason why we don't know if we are able to stream is depending on how much prep work we need, because the stream is pretty late in our time zone.
Yeah.
I think it's like midnight or something.
I think so, yeah.
Along those lines. So we need to see if we can actually perform twice in one day, because we don't want to do too much crappy stuff. So we may or may not. Otherwise, we will be back after that with a new plan.
Or heck, maybe we will just reschedule and do something.
Yep.
Heck, Friday. I don't know.
Yep. Let's do something. We will update the schedule at least, and we will post it on Twitter.
So thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun. We got a menu, got a hamburger.
I got revenge.
You did quite well. There was a lot of things to.
There was one point where I thought, oh no, but that was when I put the tag outside of the header. So
that's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with CSS. I think I really like it until I'm missing one letter or a semicolon or whatever.
Let's face it. That is the hardest problem to find. The dot, the semicolon.
Yeah.
I put it outside of something.
I had I started with a capital letter. Yeah.
Or switching letters.
The easiest one to fix and the hardest one to find.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
We're drunk again. Hey.
All right. So, thank you.
Until next time.
See you next time.
Bye.